Who's that? Oh, that's me in my culinary era, back when I was a chef and worked in food policy and food security. I did a lot of cool stuff. The coolest thing I did was provide food and recipes for people who are on SNAP. I would literally use what the average SNAP budget was for the week and I would create recipes. Because 1 in 8 Americans is fed by SNAP. And I'd have to factor things into these recipes like, could an 8-year-old make this? Because a lot of the people on SNAP are actual children, and many of those children actually prepare their own food. Could an elderly person make this? One time I did this recipe that had like a really hard squash, and they were like, we literally cannot cut acorn squash. We are 90. Also, how to keep disabled folks in mind when making these recipes to ensure that it would be something that they could have. Not a lot of grapefruit in my recipes. Grapefruit interacts with quite a bit of medicine. But the number one group I was writing recipes for were single moms and working families. 42 million Americans are on SNAP, and that includes a lot of disabled veterans as well. The total amount of people who do SNAP is about 12% of the population. But now Republicans in Congress have pushed through the most catastrophic, grim bill, perhaps in the history of the U.S. government, that makes significant cuts to SNAP and Medicaid. I don't know if you're aware of this, but 41% of births in this country are financed by Medicaid. 41%! Medicaid provides the health care for nearly half of all America's children and 60% of our elderly folks in nursing homes. Medicaid funds and keeps about 300 rural hospitals and 500 nursing homes open. They will close, I promise you, as a result of this Republican abomination of a budget bill. And those closures will impact every single person in this country, whether they are on Medicaid or not. That's why cuts to Medicaid have been a third rail, a thing that nobody wants to touch. Because 80% of Americans have a favorable opinion of Medicaid. 67% of Republicans have a favorable opinion of Medicaid and don't want to see it cut. Especially don't want to see it cut to afford tax breaks to billionaires. And yet here we are. And it is maddening. If you feel crazy, it's because it is crazy that Republicans would continue to support this bill and push it through, knowing how grim and disturbing the outcome will be. They are prioritizing billionaires over the people who actually vote for them. I don't know how they're going to show their face in their districts ever again. They have abandoned their constituents, they have abandoned their common sense and their conscience. And they are freaked out by how many people are calling their offices to call them out. So keep pressure on the phones. You can go to the place in my bio where all the links are, and you can find this one there. There are a lot of these floating around. I'm using the one from Unrig Our Economy. You just add some of your information. It will match you with your particular representative, and then you just push to call, and it's 8 o'clock. You'll probably get their voicemail, but leave them a message.